Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video, I am going to open up something for my birthday. Now, to be fair, technically my birthday was yesterday when I'm recording this because June 22nd is my birthday. In fact, it's my wife's as well. I think it's really cool that we get to share our birthday together, but when you see this, it might be a few days later. All right, so this is what I'm going to open up. And the reason I'm going to open this right here, it's not really for financial gain. In fact, I will most certainly lose money based off the value of the box sealed. Now, this is one of the first items that I invested super heavy in. Well, not super heavy in, but I was able to buy at distribution level on a large scale amount. And it made me and my distributor have a really good relationship. When Generations come out in 2016, I invested heavy in the Mew pin collection box because that was the only way to get these new generation packs, and I knew because of that I was going to want to buy a lot of them because at that time I opened up the stuff and then I would sell the cards individually. And since you couldn't get them in booster boxes, I went super heavy. I'm talking like thousands of those collection boxes. And because of the way Generations was such a huge hit, as soon as that happened with the Mew pin collection box, everybody started trying to buy up whatever was on the market. And when the next pin release come out, I was able to buy heavy into that, which was the Charizard red blue collection, as well as, well, this wasn't the pin collection. There was 4 red blue block boxes, but this come out shortly after. And then the subsequent pin collections I was able to buy really heavy into. So I'm very grateful to this set and to this product because I was just able to do a lot of churning and burning. I would buy the packs, I would open them up, I'd take the singles, and I would sell them. This card right here in particular, I bought a ton of because it was a full art Charizard EX. It come from this generation. It was for the 20th anniversary. It wasn't textured, but it was still considered a full art, and I just really like the card. And you could buy it for about $5 raw at release. In fact, I had a friend, Rock Carolina, he picked up over 500 of them off of another seller for me. For some reason I couldn't buy with certain quantities, but he could buy 500 at a time, so he picked up 500 for me, and then he picked up the rest of what he had, and he sold them to me at like a quarter a piece, or a quarter more per card. It was like $5.25 or something, and I let him sit in those binders that hold 360 cards. I had 2 full binders of nothing but Charizard EX. Eventually I did grade those, and now the prices really went up. So the current price on these, if I show you in Chrome, like you can see where one's just sold on my birthday for $750 in auction. So that's a lot of money considering I believe I got these after, because they did eventually go on sale because it was released all year long. The pin collections were like 1 per month. There were 11 of those boxes, and these were once every quarter. Then you also had the Generations Elite Trainer box, and on top of that there was a prototype box, which if you guys have watched Pokey Radar's story, he recently picked up one of those. Congratulations. And those are really cool, but there was only a few of them ever made. But because it was released so long and it took us into that downtime in 2017, 2018, you could get these packs almost for nothing for the longest time. I remember going to my distributor, and this is about the time when Unbroken Bonds got its restock. They had an entire pallet of Unbroken Bonds cases sitting there, and they couldn't get rid of them. And I didn't want them either. I mean, you're talking about like when it was like $70 some a box. And I was like, no, let me pick up the Generations stuff, because I was able to get the pin collections, which you guys can see above my head. I was able to get those in case form, and it was roughly $8 a pin box, something like that. So it was really cheap. Same thing with these. I want to say that even though this is like a figure collection box, I probably didn't pay more than like $15 a piece, for these, and it might have been even cheaper than that, especially with the first wave, because usually when stuff is coming out right at the beginning, then you've got the cheapest prices if you pre-order stuff through your distributor. But right now, this card in itself, I still have a lot of those left over graded. I've sold all of my 10s at this point. I think I pulled like maybe 10 or 20 10s out of over 1,000 of those that I did grade, just this one particular Charizard EX. And this one right here, I had a ton of 9s, and I'm down to my last stack or so, but they have jumped up to about $300 just for a 9. And then these individual packs have jumped up to about $150 a piece, which is just crazy. The price on these that I put into them was, super low. So I'm not going to lose any money by opening up this box. However, I guess you could say I'm losing potential money if you go back and look at how much they're for right now, $750. And then even if you go in there and you look at the lowest active, it's at $1,000. So like if you wanted to buy it at the market price, it's about a grand on eBay. I don't know if you can find it on TCG Player for lower, but you can see the most recent sale is $750, and that was yesterday. So without me talking even more about this, let's just go ahead and open it up. I'm actually going to try to preserve the box a little bit, so I'm going to just pull it up right below my face while I'm opening it. Oh yeah. I remember at one point I had so many generation packs I had set back because I was just constantly busting this stuff, and I would sell the promos, and I just got to where I wasn't opening up the packs anymore because I had all of the singles and they were doing really well, but I just had all of them. I had 10,000 loose packs, and I just stuck them in several boxes, and I just put them upstairs in one of my buildings where it was nice and hot. And this was preserved quite well, so we'll put that back over there. And eventually I sold the stuff off. I think they probably went through Troll and Toad Evo. I used to have boxes and boxes and boxes of this particular figure. I would sell them at the bulk rate. I want to say it was about $1.50 or so. I probably had several that went for less than that. Here we have these 4 packs. Now I don't know how much the code is worth, but it's probably worth a decent amount because the only way that you can get celebration packs is through the codes of the collection boxes. You're not going to find celebration codes inside of the booster packs. So this set was unique in that way. This will unlock that Charizard, if I remember correctly, of the promo, plus it will give you 4 generations booster packs. So whoever gets that, congratulations. There's our 4 packs. If I can get this out. Is it on the slide? Let's see if we can slide it. I hate going around these things, but all right, let's see how she looks. All right, a lot of times there's chipping on the front, but I'm not seeing any chipping. No indentions on the left or right side. Maybe a little bit of bending right there just from where it sat in it so long, but I'm not really seeing too much for damage around the edge. Maybe a white dot or 2 here or there. So even at an 8, you're looking at probably over $100. I don't know what this thing goes for raw. Let's just see what TCG Player has for it, because I guess that would be more of an accurate value since it's not graded. It's just the raw card. But I just want to see what that is. So see if we can find this guy easy enough. Charizard. I doubt it's going to come up. Oh, it did. Look at that. Sometimes they do have the set number. So that's the damaged one. Change it over to near mint. Yeah, so about $100 just raw near mint. And you can see where it's risen. I mean, it's been like nothing but an upwards trajectory. It was about $40 a year ago, and now it's at 100. And I'm curious what price charting has to say about this card, because the last few 10s that I've sold have went for, I want to say, about $800. So it looks like most recently we had one go for, look at that, $2,500. Wow. 1,100 there. These were likely mine. That's how I do my titles. Yeah, it's a little bit too old, but that's how I do my titles and all that stuff. So yeah, those were all buy nows. You can see where I just crept it up. There it is again. I sold it for $879, $879. And then I'm gonna have some older sales probably down in here as well. But even at the 9, this is showing 266, but you can see like that one right there. I mean, there's 356, there's a 290, and so forth. But anyways, we'll get off of that, and we're actually going to open this up, have a little bit of fun. Sorry, I kind of like showing the data for these types of things and just looking at them, because it's fascinating to me, because this is when I really started getting into, you know, selling more modern product heavy, and it just worked out really well for me. Man, this pack is shredded. And this set right here, in general, it really kind of started off for me. And I'm looking at that. It looks like we might have a nice Radiant back in there. I'm not too sure. I want to say it's like 2 cards off the back, and then you got the Radiance. All right, so there's Pokemon Fan Club. This was a reprint. This was a reprint from Flashfire. Here's Mr. Mime. I want to say this was a reprint from Breakthrough. There's the Generations Energy. I'm not too sure. Breakpoint or Fates Collide maybe reprint. I don't remember the Clefairy. Geodude might have been Flashfire. Revitalizer. I can't remember on that one. Ooh, look at that. Mega Gardevoir EX. Like these cards right here, I would sell all day long. Bulk for $1. Ooh, and a Jolteon. Now this guy right here with that Swift attack, he was actually really good for your deck. So this was a double hit pack. And then there's our other Radiant Collection card, the Charmeleon. That's what was cool about this set. It really had great hit rates. I want to say it was about 1 and 2. So like even if we don't get any hits at all in the next 3 packs, we just hit the typical ratio, because I would count like these as a hit. So we've got the Mega Gardevoir and the Jolteon. All right, next pack. We'll save the Charizard one for last. All right, Pokemon Center Lady again. That was from Flashfire. Evo Soda, Geodude, Krabby, Ghastly. Got the Reverse Hollow Metapod. All right, there's a Radiant Collection Diancie. Nice. We got a Ninetales EX, and then we're going to finish with a Floral Crown. I wonder if that last Radiant Collection, I can't remember if it's always one of the non-hollows. Bam. Look at that smearing on the card. All right, Venusaur. 2 for 2 so far. Let's pull 3 off the back. Let's go 1, 2, and then we'll put this Radiant Collection as the 3rd card. All right, so we got Clefable. Maintenance. There's one of the Radiant Collection cards. RC Gulpin. Got a Fire Energy, Tangela, Zubat, Geodude, Metapod, Meowstic, and we have a rare Rapidash. So you could just get non-holographic rares. All right, last pack. 1, 2. We'll start with that Radiant Collection card in the front. All right, so we have a Snorunt, Maintenance, Metapod, Ghastly, Krabby, Machop. Got a Grass Energy. Got one of the Reverse Hollow energies. That's Darkness. Another Meowstic. And we're going to finish with a second Rapidash. So looks like that first pack had our best hit with the Jolteon and the Mega Gardevoir EX, which those are coming back now, so that's pretty cool. And we also did pull a regular Ninetales EX. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun opening up this box. And like I said, I knew that it was very likely I was not going to see the value come out of opening it up. But I've kept it all these years. I've got like 2 of those boxes left after the thousands that I went through. So it's kind of cool to still see them up there, but also sad to see them start dwindling away. And I hope you guys, if you've never had the opportunity to open up Generations, you get that chance one day and you can have fun with it. Thanks.